The tree to the sky. Somewhere beyond the mountains and forests, in a kingdom no one could name, there once lived a king. He was already old. His kingdom was large, but he had no heir, only one daughter. The girl grew up and was ready for marriage, and the king began to think about how to marry her off and free his aging shoulders from care. Ruling a kingdom in old age was no easy matter. He sent word to all neighboring lands, inviting suitors to come. Whichever young man pleased his daughter would take her as his wife. When this was announced, dukes, barons, counts, and even handsome common lads came from all corners of the world. Each wanted to become king and take the beauty as his bride. But the princess looked at one, then another, then a third. None pleased her. She told her father she would not marry any of them. The king grew angry. "Daughter, think carefully. I'm old. It is time for me to rest." But the girl would not change her mind. The king had a marvelous garden around his palace, more beautiful than any in the world. All kinds of flowers and trees that grew in warm and distant lands flourished there. In the middle of the garden grew a wondrous tree so tall that no one could see its top. The king was very proud of it. One day, tired of listening to her father's reproaches, the princess went out into the garden. The sun was shining. The day was bright and warm. She walked among the flowers and spoke to them. "Do not be afraid, dear flowers. I will not leave you, no matter how my father tries to marry me off to some faraway prince." But suddenly a dark cloud gathered. Thunder roared, lightning flashed, and the sky grew black. Terrible hailstorm fell. It did not last long. Soon the sky cleared and the sun shone again. Yet the garden lay ruined. Flowers broken, leaves torn from the trees. Everything had withered as if scalded with boiling water. The king came out of the palace and did not recognize his garden. He had grown old, but he had never seen such devastation. Not a single flower or leaf remained. He wanted to weep. He called for his daughter, but she did not answer. He searched and searched, she was nowhere to be found. The king was terrified. He sent messengers in every direction and promised his entire kingdom to whoever would find her. Thousands searched, but the princess had vanished as if swallowed by the earth. The king grieved deeply. His only child was gone. Nothing pleased him anymore. From sorrow he fell ill. Doctors came, but in vain. He grew weaker and weaker. One day, as he dozed in the ruined garden, he dreamed that during the storm a seven-headed dragon had been hidden in the clouds. It seized his daughter and carried her to the top of the great tree. There upon the tree stood the dragon's palace, and in it the princess was held captive. The king awoke and thought, "A dream is a dream, but perhaps it is true. That was the day my daughter disappeared. Let us try." He proclaimed throughout all lands that whoever would climb the sky-high tree and rescue his daughter would marry her and inherit his kingdom. Young men from everywhere gathered at the palace, nobles and brave adventurers alike. They climbed some up, some down. A few reached great heights, barely visible from below, but none could go farther. All came back down. Days passed, then weeks. No one succeeded. Now the king had a swineherd named Ivan. He watched the nobles attempt the climb and thought, "If only the king would allow me, I would bring back his daughter." One day he said it aloud. An old sow heard him and spoke. "Master, go to the king and ask permission to climb. You will reach the top and rescue the princess. Because you have treated us well, I will give you advice. Let the king slaughter the old hornless buffalo and have 3 coats made from its hide for you." Ivan followed her advice. The king laughed at first but finally agreed. 3 heavy coats were made. Ivan put one on, tied the other 2 to his shoulders, took his axe and went to the tree. Crowds gathered to watch. He struck the tree with his axe, stepped on the blade, pulled it out, struck again above his head, and so climbed higher and higher until he vanished from sight. He climbed all day. By evening the first coat tore. He put on the second and climbed on. Two tore the next day. Bleeding and exhausted. He put on the third coat and climbed until he reached a branch and then leaves. Closing his eyes, he leapt onto a leaf, and found himself in another world much like his own, with fields, forests, and mountains. He wandered until he saw a palace spinning on a duck's leg. He struck the leg with his axe, and the palace stopped. The doors flew open and he rushed inside. There he met the princess. But soon the dragon appeared. 7 heads, flames shooting from each mouth. The princess quickly said Ivan was her loyal servant. The dragon spared him but ordered him to care for a sickly horse. The horse lay weak and miserable. Ivan fed it hay and oats, but it would not eat. At last it spoke. "My food is not hay. I eat burning embers and drink flames. Feed me fire, and I will grow strong." Though the dragon had forbidden giving the horse what it asked, Ivan disobeyed. When the dragon flew away one Sunday, Ivan burned wood and fed the horse glowing embers. The horse grew strong, revealed golden hair, 5 legs and wings. The horse told Ivan how to defeat the dragon. In a wild boar was a hare, in the hare a diamond casket, and inside the casket 7 beetles that held the dragon's power. They killed the boar, then the hare, and Ivan crushed the beetles. At that moment, the dragon lost its strength. Ivan returned to the palace and cut off all 7 of the dragon's heads. Then the magical horse carried Ivan and the princess back down to the king's court. The king lay dying, but when he heard his daughter's voice, he sprang up healed and joyful. He kept his promise. Ivan married the princess, and after a grand wedding feast, the king gave him the kingdom. And Ivan still reigns if he has not died since.